The following is an EHC media production.
What is going on, RWT family? Moses Marquez here, coming at you with a predictions episode for NXT takeover New Orleans. For those who listen to NXT and listen to Brian Green, he stated that all of the RWT podcast personalities will be joining him for an NXT takeover review, possibly that Saturday night. And if I'm not mistaken, we're also going to do our best to have a combined, that's what I wanted to say. I was going to say collaborated, but I guess combined. Collaborated probably sounds better. Version of the WrestleMania review, where, of course, we're going to go over this gigantic card. But first, let's get to what I'm sure most of us are more anticipated for, and that is NXT takeover New Orleans in what is an awesome-to-be show. So, before I start to give my predictions, I must give this spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you have not read the dirt sheets or do not know what is going to happen in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, go ahead and skip about, say, 2 minutes. I'll give you a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. As we know, Bobby Fish is injured and will not be able to be alongside his tag team partner, Kyle O'Reilly, to defend their tag team championships at TakeOver New Orleans. So Adam Cole, baby, will be stepping in to take his place. So the spoiler alert is right here, folks. The finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic commences, I want to say, this Wednesday. But unfortunately, due to the dirt sheets, I already know what happens. And I will say this. The Undisputed Era interfere in this finals and cost them, I guess, an easy opponent for that next weekend. So they will then now take on 2 teams, and that is the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. The Authors of Pain, also the team of Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. They will be taking both of them on in a triple threat tag team title match. And now, due to the fact that it is a triple threat tag team title match, I do have a little less hope in the Undisputed Era of retaining. But in my prediction, I do have the Undisputed Era retaining to remain your NXT tag team champions. And unfortunately, that may seem a bit downsided for this next match. So, this next match is a ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship. And of course, the competitors in this match are the Beast of Belfast, Killian Dane, the Freak Accident, Lars Sullivan, the Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, baby, the One Percenter EC3, and I'm sure one of our favorites and somebody who we've been dying to see on television, Ricochet. And since this is a title match, it does mean that much more. However, I will say this, I do not think EC3 will be jumping directly into the main title picture. However, I also think that he will not be the man to win this match to then carry on a legacy with that title belt. Because of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, possibly, in my opinion, retaining the NXT Tag Team Championships, I have now then washed out with the idea that Adam Cole will not win this match. As much as I would love for him to do so, my favorite and my pick is not one of the 2 big men. I do think they will destroy themselves and make this ladder match that much more interesting to watch. But I have one pick and one pick only, and he is very, very fresh to NXT, and that is my man Ricochet. I think if they put a title on him right away, not only will he become an immediate star, but people will catch notice and make his name popular as it was popular all over the independent scene. and all over Japan. Unfortunately for the Velveteen Dream, I do think that this was probably his best chance at winning gold. But who knows, maybe he could soon be in the main event. Or soon in the NXT title picture. So, we will follow up with the third match, and that is for the NXT Women's Championship. Ember Moon taking on Shayna Baszler. I consider Shayna Baszler a absolute beast. She could probably beat up a bunch of dudes. Hell, she could probably beat most of our 3,000 followers on the RWT page here. Granted, I might be able to hold my own. I'm just kidding. We're all going to have to gang up on her, guys. So, I'm totally joking. Women violence is not allowed unless it's woman on woman inside of a squared circle for the NXT Women's Championship. Then I'm all for it. And unfortunately, I think because Ember just barely survived last time, Shayna Baszler has her number and she will become your new NXT Women's Champion as she goes on to then make that division all about her. Next, the match I am most excited about. The unsanctioned match. Johnny Gargano taking on Tommaso Ciampa. The returning Tommaso Ciampa to be exact. A huge Tommaso Ciampa, if I might add. And if Johnny wins, he can be reinstated into NXT. But if Ciampa wins, Johnny Gargano will be banned from NXT. Now, this, I feel, has been built up beautifully in the best possible way. As much as I think Johnny deserves a win, because he's been losing as of late, but losing in style, I am unfortunately going to be going with the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa, as I now see Johnny Gargano quite possibly making his way to the main roster. I do apologize about the phone in the background, busy man, making lots of phone calls. So like I said, Tommaso Ciampa for the win, as I see Johnny Gargano making his way to the main roster, and quite possibly being one of the new faces of 205 Alive. And finally, we will end, as all major shows should end, with the championship title match. Your champion, Andrade Cien Almas, with the very gorgeous Selena Vega, taking on the undefeated in singles matches, Aleister Black. And what I think is possibly going to be about as good as match as it's going to absolutely be. I think Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are going to put on quite possibly an easy 5-star match, if not the match of the year. If not, well, probably possibly the match of the year inside the WWE. But at the same time, WrestleMania is that next day, so we can only see for that time being. But I do think that they will put on a hell of a match, easy 4.5-star. But I do think we will be crowning a new NXT champion in Aleister Black, as I do see another member of the NXT roster making their way to the main roster in Andrade Cien Almas. I also do see the same exact, with Ember Moon. I think after she loses her title, she will gracefully walk her way to the main, where they will destroy her, as they have most other NXT women's talent, minus, the ones named Flair and Bliss, of course. So, that is my NXT predictions right there, guys. Like I said, I am very much looking forward to this show, and I think it will quite possibly be the show of the weekend with all the professional wrestling that is going on. So, again, guys, real quick, cheap plug. Remember, you heard it here first. Next Thursday, the SmackDown After Mania. Ya boy will be coming at you with a fresh episode of Smack Talk. Keep your ears. The RWT Podcast Network. Remember, guys, we are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube, and we will bring you all of your podcast needs. We'll catch you around the bend, boys and girls. See you after Mania.
You can't just say, hey, I'm a wrestler. There has to be a lot of work involved and a lot of training.
This is really what I should be doing.
He is known as Big Thing.
Big Thing? It should be Big Fat Thing! I don't know how this loser got a shot with me. I'm the champ.
It's all over for you.
I'm gonna make you sorry you ever stepped in the ring.
Join two regular guys as they try to break into big-time professional wrestling. Rent or buy this hilarious comedy at FloridaBushLeagueWrestling.com.
What is going on, my RWT family? Moses Marquez here, coming at you with some WrestleMania predictions. Sitting here with Prince Lucas, if you will. My apologies for any background noise or by chance the fans or something. I'm doing the best I can to be dad and professional at the same time, so bear with me, please, as I am here to give you all of my thoughts on the awesome WrestleMania that is ahead. Speaking of the awesome WrestleMania that is ahead, this is possibly a 7-hour show, so I hope you're all ready for that one. So, in this 7-hour show, we have 2 battle royals and a multitude of title defenses, also with a couple cool gimmick matches. I will say that just recently today, I did hear the possibility of The Rock, I guess, making an appearance, which would, be pretty cool if you ask me. I'm hearing that he may do Elias may come out and do a concert, and of course, The Rock started those concerts, which it may be true. Maybe the Honky Tonk did it. I'm not 100% who started it. I'm not that big of a historian, but maybe I'll go back and do my research just so I can have that tidbit of information. But what I will say is I've heard that rumor. If Stone Cold showed up on a Monday Night Raw, I don't see how he won't be out there for that. I have not heard anything about Jim Ross possibly calling a match, and God, I do hope he does. To be mad honest with you, I would love it if he would just ignore WrestleMania this year and go to NXT and do the commentary for the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano match, the non-sanctioned match. I personally think that would be pretty bad ass. So quickly, let me go ahead and get into the card, and we'll go right into it, starting with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I always forget the memorial part, will be a part of the pre-show, and I want to say it's probably going to be the very first match, and then just to end it in style, I think that they're going to finish with the Women's Battle Royal, formerly known as the Mae Young Battle Royal, or Fabulous Moolah, Fabulous Moolah. I was not a fan of that name change, of the name, not the name change, of the name. But again, I am a nobody to the WWE, so to each their own. Truth be told, guys, we know the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal match has done nothing for nobody. It almost did a little bit of something for Cesaro, but unfortunately for him, it ended up tanking because, well, look how they book guys. So I'm gonna go with. It's probably going to be a guy from NXT. And hell, for all I know, it could be Johnny Gargano. You know what? I like that idea. I'm going to tell you my idea that just popped into my head. I think Tommaso Ciampa is going to win on Saturday, and I believe I already said it in my NXT predictions, which you should be able to hear on the page. So I think Johnny Gargano will be one of those guys that just walks down the ramp. They don't give him entrance music. He just walks down the ramp. He's a little hidden guy in the back. And I think he's going to be the guy that wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He's going to go to 205 Live, and he's going to help that victory, make him, a star on 205 Live. And I think that would be kind of awesome and kind of put him directly into the running for the Cruiserweight Championship. But truth be told, I kind of want him to feel it out a little bit more. I mean, we'll see who's next in line after the, Cruiserweight Championship match, which is also on the pre-show. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cruiserweight title. I think that's going to be following the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think Cedric and Mustafa Ali are going to have probably the most underrated match in the, on the WrestleMania show. And I'm going with Cedric Alexander. I think that they're just in love with this guy, and I think that they're going to just push him, until they can no longer push him. So I believe that's going to be the guy taking home the Cruiserweight Championship. Unfortunately for Mustafa Ali, he is a great talent, but I do not think he's going to be able to pull it off. The whole Mustafa Ali has kids thing. I think I just went off on a tangent. I just had to pull my son away from me. Sorry, I love putting this little random real bit stuff in these podcasts, so you guys know. So my son does agree with me. Prince Lucas, as I call him, agrees that Cedric Alexander is going to go over and become your new Cruiserweight champion. And then for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, I don't really have an idea. I think if Becky and if Sasha Banks and Bayley don't get a match, I could see Bayley winning the Women's Battle Royal. Okay. Again, we don't know. I'm just hoping to see, some more, NXT ladies shining on the big show. That's all I'm hoping for. So let's go ahead and let's jump into what I believe is going to be the opening match of the main show. And I believe that's going to be the tag team title match. Sheamus Cesaro versus Braun Strowman and a partner that is to be decided. Okay, so Braun's mystery partner. The partner that was to be decided. My apologies, I had to step away. I had to give my son a cookie because that will keep him tame. He thinks he should be Braun's partner for WrestleMania, but, I don't want him taking bumps, you know what I mean? The bar are kind of stiff, if you know what I'm saying. But I have 3 guys I think could be the guy to take his, to be Braun's partner. I do think Rey Mysterio is an option. I mean, I do know that he most recently was in talks with the WWE about going to see their doctor in Alabama. I do know that he's more than likely going to do the best he can to have a minimum of a 3-match commitment with New Japan Pro Wrestling. But at the same time, Chris Jericho showed up, I want to say it was like a week or 2 after he, showed up on New Japan. So that's, an option, I think. My other option is Elias. As much as I don't like the idea of Elias, I think that they're going to do hey, you guys had a bunch of matches, now team up together. And then my final guy is a surprise return, a guy who I think is going to return for the one night only, and that is Mr. James Ellsworth. As much as I don't like the guy, I do like the idea of a surprise. Because, surprises are pretty awesome for WrestleMania. So, we'll see how that whole thing goes. But, I do not see Braun being a tag team champion. My bad. I'm sorry if I'm breaking some of your guys' hearts. I think Sheamus and Cesaro are going to retain to continue to run the tag division for as long as possible. But, I think they may be introduced that following Monday by the Authors of Pain. They would be introduced to the Authors of Pain, who will be more than likely the immediate roadblock for their title reign to continue. So, my apologies for the mic. I got to check on the kid. Got to do the dad things, guys. Got to do dad things. So, my next guess is probably going to go men's tag. Probably do both tags. So let's go ahead and let's take those tag team matches back to back. And the next one is going to be a triple threat tag team for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. It's going to be the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, taking on the New Day. Any one of the combination, the Freebird rule. And of course, the big underdogs, wink wink, the Bludgeon Brothers. As much as I think this is going to be a really good match, probably the best tag team match on the show, I think we're going to get new champs. I think the Bludgeon Brothers are going to take it, and they're going to be the new champs, and they're going to run roughshod all over SmackDown because I think the Usos may jump ship to Raw following the Superstar Shakeup, which happens not the Monday after Raw, but that following Monday is when they'll be holding the drafts, to my knowledge. Not the draft, Superstar Shakeup. So again, got the Bludgeon Brothers on that one. Next, let's go ahead and let's jump into the Raw Women's title picture. Alexa Bliss taking on Nia Jax. I would think that Nia Jax is an easy win here. The way they're building her up seems to be the big baby face in the whole thing. As much as I love Alexa Bliss, and boy howdy do I love Alexa Bliss, I think Nia Jax is going to be your winner for this one. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the SmackDown Women's Championship title picture, where I believe it's going to be another title change where Asuka takes on Charlotte Flair, and I believe Asuka is not only going to beat the pay-per-view streak of Charlotte Flair, but she is going to remain undefeated with the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And I do not see Carmella cashing in until the SmackDown after Mania. And I think... Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I think she's not going to cash in. I think she's going to be traded to Raw and attempt to cash in on Nia Jax and fail absolutely horribly in more than likely a comedy spot because, well, what else is she going to do? So next on the list, let's go ahead and let's jump into men's, I guess not singles competition, but singles titles competition. Let's start with the WWE United States Championship in a Fatal 4-Way. Your champion, Randall Keith Orton, if you will. Bobby Roode. Taking on Bobby Roode, taking on Jinder Mahal, taking on Rusev Day. And I believe that this title match may come to a conclusion, the opposite of what I believe was WrestleMania 30, in Rusev winning the United States Championship, not losing. And I think they do this to give it to the hot hand because he is awesome right now, and who better to have a title than the heel who's super over, who should be a face. But hey, who am I to judge? Again, I don't get paid by the company. He completely is. He's like my son over here. He's kind of like, I don't know. He kind of likes Jinder Mahal's entrance, so who knows? Maybe he's a big fan of the Maharaja for all I know. He doesn't talk right now, so who knows? But we will next jump on to the Intercontinental title match. The Miz and his newborn baby girl, who will not be there, hopefully, taking on Seth Rollins, taking on, please, oh fucking please, the Demon, Finn Balor. And ladies and gentlemen, because Finn will be the Demon for WrestleMania, I see him taking home the coveted Intercontinental Championship. But unfortunately, I don't see him hanging on to it for long. I do see that the greatest Royal Rumble that will happen later on in April, I can see Seth winning it there as their way of saying he got it in his big moment, but now let's give it to the guy we want to give it to, aka also not killing the Demon, which would be best, that, in my opinion at least, that would be best. So we've got all that fun stuff out of the way. Let's go ahead and let's jump into what is more than likely going to be the match of the night, and I'm sure there's not a person on this page that would disagree with me, and that is the title match for the WWE Championship. Your champion, AJ Styles, taking on the winner of the 2018 Royal Rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, as much as I think this is going to be an incredible match, I do not think it's going to be on the level of their New Japan match that took place at Wrestle Kingdom, I want to say 2 years ago, 2016, January. It is, cheap plug by the way, it is free on New Japan World with or without a subscription. Without a subscription, it is still free on New Japan World, and you can watch it in its entirety in what is an awesome, awesome match. And just in like that awesome match, the winner came out, Shinsuke Nakamura, to retain his IWGP Intercontinental Championship. But in this one, at WrestleMania, in one of the main events, he will become, if I'm not mistaken, the first Japanese world champion of the modern era. If I'm wrong, please, for the love of God, somebody correct me. Now, also, we also have another title match for the Universal title, and that is Brock the Rock Lobster taking on Roman, I'm kind of a big dog, but I'm neutered, Reigns. I'm sorry, I'm throwing him under the bus. Not a Reigns fan. I've said it for a couple of years now. And if you get the Shield gimmick off of him and allow him to just be that cocky asshole that he was in NXT, he would work perfectly. This is the only way I can feel good about Roman Reigns walking out of WrestleMania as Universal Champion, and that is if Paul Heyman changes sides just like he did when it was the Big Show and Brock Lesnar. And he turned his back on Brock and went with Big Show. So, yes, I keep saying Big Show. A lot of people are saying Big Show is going to be Braun Strowman's opponent. I didn't mention him because I really hope it's not him. So, in case some of you guys are already gotten in, like, well, how come he didn't mention he was possibly Braun's partner? Because I don't want that. Do you understand me? None of us want that, and I'm sure all of you agree. Roman Reigns is walking out of WrestleMania, Universal Champion, in what is more than likely going to be the main event, the closing match of the show. But I'm going to finish off with Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry, actually, I got one more before I get to that one, but that's going to be my main event. But the semi-main, if you will, is going to be the mixed tag match. Kurt Angle and Rowdy Ronda Rousey taking on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I obviously see Ronda Rousey going over. I would like to see, or at least I think it's going to be something like this. Quite possibly, Ronda is going to have Stephanie in an armbar. Kurt is going to have Trips in an ankle lock. Stephanie is going to go to tap. But Trips stops her, grabs her hand, similar to how I want to say it was Gargano, if not the Revival stopped back in that whole NXT thing. He's like, no, don't tap, man, don't tap. Anyway, I believe Triple H is going to do that to Stephanie. He's going to end up tapping. He's going to end up tapping, which is going to put over Ronda, but it's going to leave their feud intact, Stephanie and Ronda's feud to be exact. That way it can continue to push for however long they want it to push. You know, continue to get in their ESPN love and all that other fun stuff. So my main event for WrestleMania, and unfortunately it is not going to be the main event, but it is Daniel Bryan's return match, teaming with Shane McMahon, taking on Kevin Steen, El Generico's, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn in a, what is it, if I'm not mistaken, it's just a regular tag team match. If Owens and Zayn win, they are rehired to SmackDown. Well, guess what, folks? In my opinion, they're not winning. Daniel Bryan is going to do everything he can. Kevin and Sami are going to help him shine, just like they would if they were back in Ring of Honor. And this is going to be, in my opinion, a really good match. And an immediate competitor for match of the night, if not the match of the night. And, you know, we'll eventually see Kevin and Sami more than likely back on Raw because, you know, that's how it goes. They're not fired. They're not going to be leaving. They're not going back to ROH. They're there for a while, especially after they help put Daniel over. So that is my prediction, guys, for WrestleMania. Remember, WrestleMania is on Sunday. It is a 2-hour pre-show. It does start early. So you want to get your food, whatever you're trying to do. I'm making food. Doing some tacos, carne asada, boil, got some brujas, you know. We're going to do some things for Mania because that's how we're doing it. Because I like Mania. Mania's like, I like doing it for the Super Bowl too. But guess what? Mania is my Super Bowl because unfortunately my team never goes. We'll talk about that for a different time. But this was my prediction, guys. I hope to get feedback about my predictions from you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you around the bend, boys and girls. See you after Mania with my newest episode of SmackDown.